Here's Rachel Maddow, one of my favorite cable news presenters, talking about what an authoritarian country looks like and comparing that to some of our current some of the current administrations at our state levels.
Viktor Orban in Hungary, just like Vladimir Putin in Russia, he also led his country into a full-blown moral panic about gay people and trans people. And in both countries, they used that in particular as a way to not just hurt and scapegoat queer people, they used it as a way to consolidate yet more control over the media and over schools at all levels. In Orban's case, he then led a moral panic about schools themselves, declaring war on the one truly prestigious, internationally influential graduate school in Hungary, a school called Central European University. Central European University is very influential and important in Hungary. It had an important publishing house, a really important library, a very important and highly ranked law school. Viktor Orban couldn't stand that. He demonized it. He forced that university out of Hungary altogether in 2019. This past year, he took control of 11 more universities. And then after eating his way through the media and eating his way through academia, just like Putin, he then ate the judiciary too. Orban forced out judges in huge numbers and then appointed all their replacements. And then he just created a whole new court system in which he appointed everyone in it. And they all report to him, including him deciding which cases go to which judges on an individual level, on his own say-so. Once he got complete control of the judiciary, he wrote himself a new constitution in which he gave himself the power to do all the things that had previously been struck down as unconstitutional when his country used to have real courts.
Now, my girl Rachel is going to talk about how that sounds like a couple of our state governors. But let me tell you, I'm hearing Trump, Trump, Trump as well in all of that behavior.
It is easier to see it. It is easier for us as Americans to see these patterns when they're farther away, right? When we can see them in other countries, particularly when we can see them happening simultaneously in different countries.
True.
That are all run by authoritarian leaders. And, you know, the patterns aren't that hard to discern because you see the same ones in history that you see in modern life. All authoritarians kind of do all the same things. Authoritarian rule is a pretty simple thing, right? Basic idea of authoritarian rule is I'm in charge, nobody else gets a say. If that's your goal, your roadmap basically only has one road on it. Set about making sure that nobody else has a say. Set about undermining and disempowering any other institution, any other entity that might challenge you or tell the truth about what you're doing. Undermine it, disempower it, take it over, shut it down, ultimately kill it off. It's the same pattern everywhere. It's the same playbook everywhere.
So what does that result in at a state level? Tell us, Rachel.
And that is why it is unnerving to see elements of the American right going for it in the small ways where they can, too. They can't do it federally, but they're doing it in the states wherever they can, right? I mean, what's called Central European University in Viktor Orban's Hungary might reasonably be called the New College of Florida here in the United States, where the ambitious hard-right Republican governor of that state moved quickly from stoking a moral panic about gay people and trans people to asserting ideological control of education broadly, and then demonizing and taking over one scapegoat college in particular.
So we have the issue then of, there she's talking about Ron DeSantis. We have the issue of an authoritarian governor. Let's jump quickly and directly to what you can do. Because, in my opinion, this one's a layup. Vote in primaries. You ever look at YouTube videos of like puppies fighting? How about little baby pandas fighting? How about goats playfully butting heads? Why is this an instinct in so many animals? To simulate violent, dangerous combat. It ain't a joke in nature when you're fighting with another animal. You ever play with your dog and you rustle their head and they try to bite your hand? Why is that so fun for us? Evolution has showed us it's beneficial to practice. It's beneficial to engage in play conflict with the people that are on your side, where there isn't actually going to be a deadly consequence. Therefore, it is hugely beneficial to have active primaries. If there is a weakness in our politicians, wouldn't you rather know when we have a chance to choose another one who is broadly going to pursue the same goals that we are interested in? Remember Marianne Williamson? She was a presidential candidate in 2020. Way on the left. I am delighted that she was just trounced in the debates because she would have gotten trounced in the general election. Doesn't matter that I like some of her ideas. It was good to see that she didn't have the chops to make it in the general election. Engage in primaries. Now, I would caution that when you debate other lefties, remember, we're not going for the kill. Don't if you are a supporter of one candidate and somebody is a supporter of another, don't grind them into the dirt with your facts and logic. Yeah, try to win your point when you're debating, but remember you're puppy fighting. Let them go. Don't make them feel bad. Don't generate hurt feelings. But make a strong case for the people you agree with. Get active in the primaries. 2023, we got 2024 coming up. Make it a habit. Make it a habit to vote in primaries, and make sure your friends, your family are going to vote in primaries. That's how we overcome these folks. Especially if you are in a state that is controlled by one of these right-wing psychopaths. Having a robust primary, a contested primary, we're told all the time, well, that's not good. That's not good. What happens then is that the candidate has all kinds of weaknesses exposed for the general election. Man, if those weaknesses are there, they better get exposed. And America better get over it by the primary if that's the goal that's going to happen, or if that's the path it's going to take. If they can't withstand weaknesses exposed by people who are ultimately their allies, they are not going to withstand it in the general engage in primaries.